Hello YouTube, it's Slickshot Games here, and it's me, MrSmiles. Me, Cheezymuffin.
MrKnight.
So we're gonna be talking about The Dark Knight Rises. If you've already seen the movie in the movie theater, please subscribe, comment, like, tell us what you think about it. If you haven't yet, this is definitely a spoiler alert, so don't check out this video if you haven't seen it. We're gonna be talking about key points that will affect the verdict and what you think about the movie. So once you've already seen the movie, kind of check back and tell us if we were right or wrong. First, we're going to be talking about actors, acting the characters. What do you think about it, Cheesy? All right, as usual, the characters that were there by default from the very beginning of the Batman series, or the Dark Knight series, may I say. Christian Bale, Michael Caine as Alfred. We got Morgan Freeman. All those, and Commissioner Gordon. All those from the very beginning are really good. And also, Tom Hardy as Bane. How could I forget? He's epic. Okay, I think okay. If you look at him from first glance, he has a villain structure. You know, you look at him, he's the villain. But when he talks, his voice wasn't all that great. Christian Bale always makes his voice deep when he's Batman. Okay, I get it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, great as the cop. He did good, and my coworkers don't like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. Alright, I actually thought she did a good role. She didn't make or break the movie, and I don't know why they're saying that it wasn't that good because of her. I don't understand that. Explain yourself, Mr. Knight.
Well, you can't go wrong with the original characters like Christian Bale and and um, and the other actors. I can't remember Morgan Freeman and all those. You can't go wrong with those. But I did have an issue with some of the newcomers. I do have to say there were some great newcomers, and then there were some horrible newcomers. So great newcomers, I have to give props to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I thought he did a great job as John Blake. He was a good addition to to the series.
Robin.
Exactly,
Robin.
aka Robin. The only issue I had with newcomers was Anne Hathaway. I don't think that she is very well fit for this movie or any kind of movie of this caliber. I think she needs to stick with like the Princess Diary type and and the romantic comedies, which is what her specialty is.
Uh, do you know how? Do you have any idea how low budget those movies were? How much money they didn't get? You know, this is a very high budget movie. Uh, they cast her because I think that she was a good addition. Yeah, me, Mr. Smiles. I definitely agree with what they're saying. I thought Bane was excellent. It's kind of one of those things where you see a big built figure, kind of muscular, a pure villain, but then a little squeaky voice comes out. Well, not squeaky, not squeaky, not metaphorically, speaking. It's a small voice. I mean, my turn. So, I mean, Anne Hathaway, I think I'm between. She did good, like, with the talking wise, I guess, but action wise, it was a little scripted. And in some of these scenes, I saw some of the extras or actors, I saw it was a little too scripted. In the scene where the Dark Knight and the Bane were fighting, if you see in the back, it was just like kind of like the actors like kind of continued kind of repeating the same type of move over and over again, and not many people were falling, and they should have used guns more definitely in those action scenes. But all in all, I think the acting was pretty epic from the Butler, Morgan Freeman, and as Mr. Knight said, newcomers were good, newcomers were also bad. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, with most movies like this, with series and trilogies, that tends to happen a lot with newcomers. But I feel that they definitely dropped the ball with Anne Hathaway. There's a lot better actresses out there that they could have selected for that role. So as far as Tom Hardy, I thought he was an okay addition. The only thing I found kind of annoying was his voice, and I know that wasn't necessarily him, it was his character. But I wasn't very fond of the whole, whatever that device was on his head. It kind of made it difficult to hear him.
Okay. They could have made his voice more clear, but I don't know why they didn't, because he has to have that mask on, or else he'll die. That was like one of his things that made him more villain. That mask. It was all about the mask, and yes, the voice. It was a complete voiceover.
Yeah, but in real life, if you think about it, what kind of like disease or injury would require you to wear a device on your head? I mean, how is he supposed to eat?
I think you know, that is a good point, but they left all that stuff out. They kind of kept the fantasy in it, you know, not getting too technical. They had that on his face, you know. They're trying to make it villainous, and that's just as simple as it is. Uh, no, actually, it's a classic villain. Okay. All right. Anyway, we're moving on to the next one. The next, you know, category, we're gonna be talking about the best parts. What do you think, Cheesy? What do you think the best parts were? Hands down, the best parts are in the second half of the movie where they're blowing up the football field, the whole city's exploding, all Gotham City. Told you it was a spoiler alert. And they're, you know, trying to defuse a bomb. The villains have taken over. Hands down, those are the most exciting parts, and it's just epic.
Yeah, I do have to say the action parts are definitely some of the highlights of the movie. I mean, other than the fact that I personally feel that they went a little bit overboard with some of the action scenes, like for example when they take over the entire city, I feel that that was a little bit over the top. But I mean, honestly, those were some of the best parts, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, as you mentioned while we were riding back from the theater, that you that they basically showed all the best parts in the trailer, and they kind of, you know, had all the actions and explosions and all that stuff, you know, in the trailer. So you know they really, you know, emphasized that, and you know those were the highlights of the movie. I mean, from the explosion of the bridge, from all the stuff, and that huge fight between Bane's army and the police force, and all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed that thoroughly. You guys have anything else to say? Cheesy? No. For the best parts? No. So next we're going to be talking about the worst parts. Definitely the worst parts of the movie were, you know, when I can't think of really any right now. How about you guys? Worst parts? The worst parts were, I don't know if I would call them bad parts. It was kind of slow at the beginning compared to the second half of the movie. But yeah, bad parts? No, I don't think so. Yeah, another thing I'm adding, for bad parts, just something came to mind. They really made it cheesy when the scare you saw Scarecrow acting like the judge. That was a bit cheesy, and also when they were forced to go on ice. You know, I actually thought Bane was gonna choke that guy. That would have been Okay. Next, so you know we're gonna be next is you know the effects and music. And okay, the ending. Sorry, the ending. What do you think about the ending, Cheesy? Oh man, the ending. It's a good way to end off the Dark Knight series with a cliffhanger. Robin, which is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, John Blake, I think was his name, walking into something. A little elevator takes him up, but you don't know where it takes him. It's like a cliffhanger. Could it be the next movie? Who knows?
Yeah, the ending was definitely unique. I mean, it was kind of compared to compared to the other movies. This ending was definitely a little more mellow. I mean, there wasn't any major like battles or any. It was just kind of a mellow ending, with Robin going back to Batman's lair and just kind of introducing the cliffhanger to the next movie. So it was kind of unique.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Knight. The very end, though, but you know, before the very end, there is a gigantic, epic battle. You know, so, you know,
Yeah, and speaking of that, I do have to say the only one of the things that kind of leaves the viewer kind of on a kind of at a question mark is the whole scene where Batman flies away on his little Batmobile and drops the nuclear bomb in the water. I don't understand how it is that supposedly the bomb was about to explode, and somehow he manages to fly like 7 miles out and drop the bomb far enough for it to not cause damage to the city. I thought that was a little bit unrealistic, and to top it off, the fact that he escapes that was a little bit overboard.
but does he escape it? This is cheesy, by the way. Does he escape it? Could that have been well, let me just rephrase this for the viewers. The part where Alfred is in the little Italian restaurant, he sees Master Wayne or Bruce Wayne with Anne Hathaway. They're sitting at the table where he like envisioned it. Could that have been an imagination? Maybe it was what he wished for him. I don't know. But what you're saying about how he survived, maybe he ejected. Maybe it was autopilot. Maybe Lucas lied.
It kind of leaves the audience in the dark, which is, I mean, if you like that, then you might like that, but if you don't like that, then it's gonna bother you.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely you saw that the butler, aka Alfred, Pennyworth, was kind of looking, and he smiled too. He acknowledged it, unless he's some kind of a psycho and smiling to himself in public. I don't think that could have been an imagination. And getting all technical here, I don't think New York is 6 miles. Just saying.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, supposedly the bomb had a blast radius of like 5 or 6 miles, which that's actually not that much for a nuclear bomb. Was it more?
It was 6 miles, and I'm thinking, why was it all the people continued repeating, oh, the nuclear bomb's gonna blow up a whole entire Gotham. No, it isn't.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If you think about it, Gotham is supposed to replicate New York City, and I guess when they talk about New York City, they're normally referring to the island of Manhattan. So I mean, which is I think it's less than 6 miles across. So technically, it would blow up the whole city since they consider the whole city Gotham City.
Okay, so anything else to talk about, guys? I mean, anything else to add to the ending? What you guys thought? Or... One of the highlights of the movie was the effects. I couldn't find any CGI thing, and the music. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about effects and music. So guys, what did you think? What do you think about that, Mr. Knight?
Well, I thought the effects were, as the previous movie, were excellent. Especially the scenes when they're blowing up the city and the football field, and like when they're blowing up the bridges. Definitely some of the highlights. And I also thoroughly enjoyed the music. I thought the soundtrack is excellent. I mean, you can't go wrong with Sans Zimmer or whatever his name
Hans Zimmer,
is.
yeah.
Hans Zimmer. I'm sorry, Hans Zimmer. So.
Yeah, with a budget of 250 million, all those explosions were real. Every single one of the movie, and it makes for an amazing movie. And as Mr. Knight said, Hans Zimmer is an amazing musician, and it makes all the movies that much better. Yeah, I thoroughly agree with you guys. It really took a high budget to make this movie, and definitely worth it in the end. The effects were amazing. The music, nonetheless, you can't go wrong with Hans Zimmer. Definitely epic music as well. So it really gave it, that kind of feel. That the Dark Knight is rising. Gotham's reckoning. They need all the help they can get. No, just joking. I hope they deserve that. They deserve to have a lot of publicity, good publicity. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a wrap, guys, right? Yeah, hats off to all the actors. Hats off to the movie. I really hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. This has been Slickshot Games. Verdict score, I give it a 9.5
9.
and 9.2. So all in all, Cheezymuffin 9.5, right? Mr. Knight 9, and me MrSmiles 9.2. 9.2357. So those are great scores, and I hope a lot of people did score. I think would rated that. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you subscribe and comment to Slickshot Games. Bye bye.